Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. With an endless supply of new skincare launches, it can be really difficult to get excited about any one specific skincare product. But every once in a while, a product lands that we look at and think is genuinely different, not only delivering fantastic results, but also really challenging and changing the way that we see skincare and the way that the big skincare brands operate. That's not an exaggeration. This is something I genuinely believe the Geek and Gorgeous Zero Feel SPF 50 is about to deliver. The big sunscreen brands are already taking note, and you just know they're quaking in their boots because this product could genuinely change the way that us, the consumer, interacts with sunscreen and the demands that we make from the big retailers. It's about time that we demand more from our sunscreens in 2026, and I think Geek and Gorgeous might just be the brand to make that change happen. We're going to talk about it all in today's video, so sit back, relax, let's talk the new Geek and Gorgeous sunscreen. Now, in today's video, I'm going to share with you my hot take on this sunscreen, but I would really love to hear yours. Having heard what I've said in this video, let me know, is this a sunscreen that you're really excited to buy and try as part of your own skincare routine? If it is, let me know by leaving the heart emoji down in the comments section below. If this is a product that just doesn't appeal to you, maybe you don't think it's anything beyond what you already have, again, let me know by leaving the cross emoji and state why. That way we can see where the true thoughts and opinions of the Mad About Skin community lie. Here on Mad About Skin, in this video, as in any content that I create, this is entirely sponsorship and paid partnership free. I know there's so many sponsorships online right now, but that's something you will never see here on the channel because I pride myself on my independence, speaking from the heart and never the wallet. So if you appreciate truly independent skincare advice and reviews, then the very best way of supporting me is by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. The more likes the video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, love to each and every one of you. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So as I said earlier, the topic of conversation for today is the Geek and Gorgeous Zero Feel SPF 50. This product launched in Europe around a week ago. It's soon to launch here in the UK in the next 5 days, and then it's going to go international. But this is already getting so much hype, buzz, and attention, and honestly, I think it is completely deserving of it. What's really interesting though is we've seen some comments and some changes already from the big sunscreen brands on the back of this launch, and that's why I say I think this one has a real ability to be a disruptor in the skincare industry, and that's long overdue. For the longest time, brands have dictated to us, the consumer, what information we could have when it came to sunscreens, what products we had to put on our skin, and there was no consumer involvement. We were really beholden to the big brands, and that should never be the case. I really like skincare to be a bottom-up approach, where the consumer tells the brands what we want, what we expect, and then they create amazing formulas on the back of it. It's brands like Geek and Gorgeous that have really started to democratize the whole skincare industry and almost empower the consumer, and I think this is a really great example of that change in action, which is what we're going to talk about today. Now, first of all, I'm going to speak about the product itself because this is a great formula in its own right, and I don't want that fact to be lost in the narrative of the change that it's driving. But then I'm going to come on to that change itself. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you how this slots into my other favorite sunscreens. So like my top 3 at the moment and how I personally use them in my skincare routine. If you want to jump to one section of the video over another, I have left some timestamps down in the description box below. And I've also listed and linked all the products mentioned if you wanted to check out the price point, read the reviews, or make a purchase for yourself. So like I said, this sunscreen launched in Europe around a week ago, and it's a 75ml sunscreen, which retails for €14. It's coming to the UK next week, and this is going to retail in the UK for £12.50 and in the States for $14. So super inexpensive when you think you're getting 75ml of product, which is roughly 25ml larger than your standard sunscreen, which by and large is a 50ml product. So it's nice to see you getting more product at a super affordable price point. This is a new generation filter sunscreen, which means it's using new technology to give the best possible broad spectrum protection and the nicest lightweight feel. They call it the Zero Feel sunscreen, and this is true. So I got a sample of this sunscreen ahead of the launch. I'll be buying my own full size as soon as it launches in the UK because I want to have this as part of my skincare routine and collection. But I got a sample and I put this on for you today so you can actually see how it looks on the skin. Now, I've actually been wearing this for the past 2 hours, so you can see how it looks once things have settled in, and you can see almost like what it looks like naturally on my skin. And I would say this is probably one of the most matte sunscreens that I've used in a whole long time. It's not that deadpan matte that can almost seem chalky. It's just a really nice natural skin finish. You can, of course, if you like a little bit more glow, you can add that on top of this using makeup or other highlighters. But if you just want to keep things like a good skin day finish, I think this delivers it to perfection. Truly lightweight, invisible on the skin, no stickiness, no tackiness. It's just your good skin, really, I would say. And that is really nice. That's how sunscreens should be. They should be products that we look forward to applying rather than dread because of the way they feel. And this feels absolutely sensational. They've released all their testing, so you know you're getting that locked in SPF 50 and broad spectrum UVA protection too, which I absolutely love to see. And yeah, just in its own right, it is just a wonderful, wonderful sunscreen that I think is genuinely going to be welcome in just about everyone's skincare routine. It's a chemical sunscreen, which means it won't leave any ashiness or white cast, even on deeper, darker and richer skin tones. For most people, I think this is going to be absolutely great, even on oily, acne-prone skin. So that's the product and how amazing it is. Honestly, 10 out of 10, no notes. But where I think this launch gets really interesting is the way that Geek and Gorgeous have approached it. Now, this sunscreen has been teased for years. They've been working on it for the past 2 years, teasing us along the way. To say it is much anticipated is an understatement. But the way that they've delivered this, honestly, has already made so much difference in the industry. So first and foremost, full transparency. You log onto their website, which, like I say, is listed and linked down in the description box below. They've released all their data, all their testing, the SPF values of the product, and most importantly, the UVA protection values too. All there, front and center, meaning as consumers, we can make an informed choice. We know what we're buying. This is really rare. Very few brands actually do this. Now, I think this is something that needs to change because we need to know exactly what we're putting on our skin and have faith that it's delivering the right level of protection. And it's great to see Geek and Gorgeous doing this. Now, as a brand owner myself, I have my own sunscreen, and I've done this as standard. This has been on the website since the start. This is something I did as standard, but it's taken a really big brand like Geek and Gorgeous to really drive that narrative home. Lots of smaller indie brands like my own have been doing it for some time, but for Geek and Gorgeous, a big skincare brand that's so well respected in the industry, saying, no, this is what's happening as standard going forward. I think this is a real game changer. What's really interesting though is Geek and Gorgeous actually created this product from scratch. I don't know if many people know this, but most sunscreens are actually just relabeled formulas that brands buy that are already available. They might add their own unique fragrance to it, they might tweak things ever so slightly, but generally speaking, most brands, when they want to launch a sunscreen, will go to one of the big manufacturers and say, we'll buy that formula off you, stick our own label on it and call it our own. This is quite common practice in the skincare industry, and whilst a lot of smaller indie brands like myself will create a product from scratch, so it's your own bespoke formula that doesn't exist anywhere else on skincare planet Earth, most of the big brands don't do this. Geek and Gorgeous did. They went back to the drawing board and said, okay, we want to work on this from scratch. It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, but they were willing to do that in order to come up with a formulation that's truly unique and I think fit the gaps in the market for something super lightweight, not stain-free, and actually delivers. And they've done that. And I think this is where a lot of the big brands have started to notice to say, yeah, the lazy approach of just slapping a unique fragrance on an existing formula isn't going to cut it anymore. People want innovation, they want difference, they want nuance with their sunscreens. And this is where I think that change is really going to be delivered. And then when it comes to the way that they have launched this, if you go onto the Geek and Gorgeous website, they've listed and linked all of the individual UV filters used, what wavelengths of light they protect against, how they interact with the skin. This again is really important because different filters offer different things in terms of protection. And whilst not everybody's going to care about this, some people just want a great product they can slap on their skin and go about their day. Some people really want to get into the detail of it, and Geek and Gorgeous have made this possible. I think this is what we talk about when I said about the democratization of skincare, giving people all the information they need in order to make the right decisions for their own skin. Geek and Gorgeous are doing this, and a lot of other brands have already started to take notice. You've seen since the launch of this, some of the biggest skincare retailers have started putting information on their website that they previously withheld and said they couldn't share because of proprietary trademarks and blends and all of this. A lot of other brands have actually gone back to the drawing board, say that they're coming out with new sunscreens, teasing them for this year, going back to basics, creating their own formulas rather than relying on pre-existing ones with small tweaks. This is going to be huge, and expect an explosion in new innovation, technology, and just advancements in sunscreen in the next year. And I genuinely think Geek and Gorgeous are the main reason that this is happening and should definitely be applauded. So as you can tell, I'm a huge fan. I cannot wait for this to launch in the UK, and I will be buying it on day one because I've been so impressed with the sample. But how will this fit into my existing sunscreen favourites? Now, I'm somebody that likes to cycle sunscreens. I use different ones depending on what my skin needs in this day. And there are 3 that I'm going to use on rotation this year. The Geek and Gorgeous, which I've just spoken about. I think this is a fantastic sunscreen if you just want something that you can slap on, feel weightless, and just enjoy, knowing you've got that locked-in protection, and it's a great affordable price point. Absolutely wonderful product that is going to be one of my core 3. I'm going to reach for my own. This is the Matter About Skin Protect and Hydrate sunscreen. It's actually 100ml, so slightly larger in terms of the size, similar price points, so getting a little bit more. We also do a trio with a third off, so you can actually buy 3. It's a separate product, which again I'll link below, a trio, which actually gets you 33% off, which makes it one of the cheapest high protection sunscreens on the market, which is something I never get tired of saying because I'm so proud of it. This is actually a 6-hour wear sunscreen. So a lot of sunscreens now are longer wear, meaning you don't have to reapply them as often. Whilst you'll have to reapply the Geek and Gorgeous one a little bit more frequently, on the days where I'm not going to be able to reapply, I just need to put something on my skin, lock it and load it for the rest of the day. I reach for this for the 6-hour protection. This is also super hydrating, so I use it as my moisturizer and my sunscreen in one. So this is going to be my default on those days where I need a little extra hydration in the skin. The Geek and Gorgeous one is beautifully matte, but it doesn't really hydrate in any way. You still need to use a moisturizer alongside it, which is great. But for those days where I want that extra hydration as part of my sunscreen, again, I'm going to go for this one. And then third in my rotation is the Allies of Skin, the One SPF 50 Invisible Sunscreen Gel. Again, like with the Geek and Gorgeous, the Mad About Skin, the Allies of Skin, this is a bespoke formula that is unique to this brand. They haven't just relabeled something else. They've come up with their own individual formulation. That's why this is so fantastic. This is one of the only truly invisible water resistant sunscreens. So if I'm going outdoor swimming, which I like to do a lot in summer, I'll be wearing this for that water resistance. The Geek and Gorgeous isn't water resistant. The Mad About Skin one is sweat resistant. So if you're jogging, sweating, just getting, a little sweaty is fine. This will still stay on the skin. If you want true water resistance, like I would use when I go outdoor swimming, I'll go for the Allies of Skin. This is actually 25% off at the moment at the time of filming, so I've just stocked up because this is a slightly higher price point product, so I use this just exclusively when I need it, when I'm in and out of the water. The rest of the time, I'll use one of the others because it's worth noting you don't need water-resistant sunscreen every day of the year. You need it when you need it. When you're going in and out of the water, that's when I'll reach for a product like this, and I've stocked up with that 25% off. These are my core 3 sunscreens that I'm using this year, like my holy grail trio of SPF protection, and I think this is all I need, meaning I've got all bases covered, whether I need water resistant, extra hydration, long wear, mattifying. I've got something for every situation in these 3 sunscreens. And if you're watching Geek and Gorgeous, I just want to say thank you from all us sunscreen consumers. Thank you for bringing something different to the market as a big brand. A lot of the smaller indie brands have been doing things like this for years, but it's really hard to get noticed. When a big brand like Geek and Gorgeous sit up and give us, the consumer, what we've been asking for years, honestly, it is such a game changer in the industry, and I cannot thank you enough. Let me know your thoughts, guys. You've reached it this far in the video. Is this a product you're going to buy? Do you want to say thank you to Geek and Gorgeous yourself down in the comments? I really do think when big brands step it up, we should absolutely be singing their praises from the rooftop. So Geek and Gorgeous, thank you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and wherever you are in the world, guys. Stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.